Hey, what's going on, everyone? Thank you for tuning in to another video. I'm just going to give a brief synopsis on you're probably being blamed for their mistakes because they can't handle their own issues. This is just in general, of course, right? And even with something like this, I'm sure we've been in instances or situations or scenarios where uh, somebody might have lashed out at us for something that they did wrong. It's like, hey, like, why am I getting the blame here? You know what I mean? So I'll just try to get into about why you might be the target of their accusations, at least in my estimation. So when it comes to blame, it's definitely a powerful thing, right? And it can really mess with like our personal relationships. It could even affect, our mental health, emotionally, everything else, right? And when somebody just puts the blame on you for whatever reason, it could feel like a punch to the gut, right? But have you ever stopped to wonder like why people might deflect um, their wrongdoing or wrongdoings onto other people? You know, something I've always wondered too, right? Well, there's this thing called that everybody knows about is projection. Well, what's projection? Well, that's basically like where people attribute their own feelings, like their undesirable feelings or even thoughts, onto somebody else. And something like that is usually common in interpersonal dynamics. So instead of like them owning up to their mistakes or their insecurities or whatever it is, they do what? They project that blame onto other people. It's kind of like a sneaky way of dealing with their issues. Um, but it's something that we all need to be aware of. And there's probably many reasons why people, why they blame others, but I'll try to give a few. One of them I would probably have to say is fear. Like when someone is basically afraid of facing the consequences of their actions, in which I feel like just own up to whatever it is you're doing, because even though it might be wrong, at least you was honest enough and man enough, woman enough, whatever, to take up for what you did. You know what I mean? But anyway, usually when somebody's afraid of facing the consequences of their own actions, they often either look or try to look for someone else to pin it on. Then there's that insecurity aspect of it. People who feel inadequate or less than often deflect blame to make themselves look better or feel better. It's kind of like a twisted thing, or a twisted power move. And of course, there's a need for control. Um, by just blaming other people, they can really manipulate, the narrative and, keep the focus off them. All those type of reasons, they, if you think about it, they tie back to a common theme. What's that common theme? Well, it's easier to shift the blame than to take responsibility. So yeah, it's just something in which, like I said, we just need to be more aware of when people do things like that. um it's just it's really crazy. So but when it comes to something like this, though, to be honest, um you might be thinking, well, but sometimes blame is justified, right? And you're probably right. Accountability is really important, and there are situations where blame is definitely warranted, and it gets complicated because sometimes people genuinely need to be held responsible for whatever actions that they've done. However, even justified blame can, lead to resentment if it's not handled, constructively, or at least the right way. And it's like a delicate balance that we need to strike. So but yeah, I just wanted to give a brief synopsis on this. You're probably being blamed for their mistakes because they can't handle their own issues. And, to basically wrap it up, it's like blame could be a heavy burden, when it's unfairly placed on you. And understanding the reasons behind that behavior can really empower you to recognize um, when really to recognize when it's happening, right? And how to deal with it. So just remember that it's crucial to um, address the blame, in a healthy way, not just for you, but for your relationships, friendships, whatever the case might be. So yeah, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to another video. Please hit the like on your way out if you haven't when you first came in, or at least throughout the duration of the video. I would greatly appreciate that. And as always, continue to stay safe, continue to stay hydrated and monitor your health, and continue to be blessed and encouraged. All right, y'all take care and have a good one.